Hey, we're back on the stream. No, that actually looks pretty good. I think that's gonna work. Hey, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Yeah, we haven't even warmed up or done anything, so we'll do the warm-up with all of our friends. The Howells, or have we ever introduced them as the Howells?
No.
We've never said that, right? I just invented that, the Howells. No one's ever said that.
So when I was a kid, the Cowsills.
The cow. See, this is what we do. He's doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like this. Hold on. Keep doing what you're doing because I can dial everything in while you're doing
the
it.
Youngbloods.
Hey, what's up, Youngblood? hey, let me hold a duck. Can I do that? Is that?
It was more of like 1950s doo-wop.
Yeah. The McGuire.
The only Youngblood I know is at my 7-Eleven, and he asked me if he's like, "Hey, Youngblood, let me hold some money." Like he's always asking for money. And I'm like, "I'm not young."
Yeah. I know.
I don't have any money.
Right.
Or there was a Jack Youngblood who played for
Orlando Predators. He was the commissioner of the Predators.
Yeah, and he was big. He played for the Rams, I think.
Yeah, well, he played legitimate football before he slummed it with Drunky the Bear.
Yeah. And
you're supposed to come back at me all that. Come on, man, defend your honor.
And back in the day, Tom, it was a big deal that he set a record for having 4 sacks in one game. That was a big deal.
Okay, all right.
4 sacks. So
a regular Michael Strahan.
Yeah. So they.
What was Strahan's record that he beat that guy and the guy got all mad?
Oh, yeah. Gastineau. Mark Gastineau.
We just talked about it, and I already forgot it.
He was angry.
Was that 9?
They tried to fight him.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the deal.
You
know, Mark Gastineau, Tom, you're a little bit younger, but you probably...
Tom looks like Mark Gastineau. I'm not kidding. Like he's really old now, but like he was a good look. He was like a muscly, cool hair guy.
Yeah.
That was not a dig. Fucking A, man. Everything I say on the show is a dig. That was not a dig.
It was back when Italians could play NFL football.
Italian. You have to say if it's the 60s, you have to say Italian.
Even though it's a French name. But anyway, so
mic was way too hot because I was singing songs in here. All right, I'm setting up Casey's camera.
Gastineau.
But yeah, Gastineau tried to box after he had a great. I mean, he was for about 4 or 5 years. He was the man. He was kind of the Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah,
And by Lawrence Taylor, he means good Lawrence Taylor, not hiring a 14-year-old to go to his hotel room. Lawrence Taylor.
Oh, is that a Lawrence Taylor?
Two separate guys.
Oh God. Well, anyway, he tried to box.
Okay.
And I will tell you this: you used to do the Roxy, right?
Yeah.
You've seen guys that were thought they were badasses, like muscular guys. And they couldn't even throw a punch.
Yeah.
And he was that guy. And he put himself out there because of
big for nothing.
Yeah, he was because he was so big in the NFL, and he was dating that Swedish girl that did the movie with Stallone. Stallone had a Swedish girlfriend for a while.
Was it the blonde?
Yeah,
Brigitte Nielsen.
Yeah, Brigitte.
She went on to fuck Flavor Flav.
Yeah, I remember that. That's real life.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna say something, and you're not a kid anymore. But he ate that pussy with the clock around his neck. He did.
Told her what time it was.
He told her what time it was. Thank you, Casey. It's weird that I knew you in karate class, and now we're making dirty jokes. But I'm down for it.
I like how we have generational references.
Yeah.
Like with the Flavor Flav thing was 20 years ago.
Yeah. No, there's different levels
Jeff
of
is
Flav.
talking 40 years ago.
No, different
Flavor
Flav. Flavor Flav has been, you could go 1980s Flavor Flav, 90s Flavor Flav.
Yeah, but the Bridget Nelson Flavor
No,
Flav.
That's 2010's Flavor Flav.
No, my reference was Jack Youngblood from 1964. And all of a sudden we got Flavor Flav with his lips all over whatever.
He was in the news for the Olympics. He was like funding a bunch of these.
Now we like him again. Now he's
good. He's a good guy.
Yeah, now he's a good guy now. He's good again.
So, but you know
who we hate more than Flavor Flav? Justin Timberlake, and it's weird. We do. We hate him more.
We don't talk about it enough. How much we hate JT.
We do not. We suppress the amount of anger we have for Justin Timberlake.
Wow.
So
free
Jeff,
yourself.
the Gastineau thinking he could box.
Yeah.
Was a
It's called Talon Van disorder.
Yes, it is, but it's specific to that time because there wasn't. The only information you had was really just around you.
Yes.
So people would tell you, like, your Gastineau's people were just like, oh, yeah, you could box or whatever.
They call him Gastineau.
All the yes men he surrounded himself with.
There would be no way, like, a athlete nowadays could convince himself that he'd be good enough to, like, professionally box.
Right.
Because
YouTuber.
Well, but he
That's an excellent point, Professor.
Yeah, but
that's why I have him around.
Professor YouTube.
Yeah. Well, they very specifically pick their fights that they could win or at least have somebody.
Sure.
The Jeff
have
knows
a chance.
The old washed up guys.
Yeah. Like they never ever fight anybody that could actually fight because they'd be annihilated. And they know that.
Right. Yeah.
That's why they haven't done that.
Yes.
They fight old man Tyson.
Yeah.
Who doesn't even want to fight. You know what I'm saying?
Stop punching me.
And it's just a joke. You know?
Yeah. So it is different. Yeah. Because back then,
because he really believed he could fight, right?
He really believed he could fight. And there was another guy. There was a guy for the Cowboys.
Lawrence Taylor's a registered sex offender.
Oh man.
Oh, he broke so many hearts. Dropping that little tidbit of info.
That's hard info on a Wednesday, Casey.
Yeah.
He
did cocaine? What?
He was a he didn't. Yeah. He doesn't. He's not complying. Sorry, I didn't mean to drop.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
All right.
Oh, well, yeah. Let's get it. I want to talk to Jeff Howell about you were getting into
a story.
You were going to
Mills Lane me there for a second. Let's get it on.
I've got it.
Are you going to Mills Lane me?
I've got a list.
I like lists.
I have a list. All right, can everybody hear okay? Because this is new, but man, it looks really
we're getting
good.
ready. Yep. We're getting ready.
Yeah, we're good. It looks great
got
now.
it.
All right, you start, buddy. Here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch and YouTube. Come join us. Just search for @Tom and Dan Live. We just upgraded all of our cameras. The full broadcasting system in here is brand new. Come check it out.
The Orange County Library is doing their book fest on May 17th.
Big deal. They're bringing in some heavy hitters.
Yeah, Brad Meltzer is going to be there, and he's coming on the show, actually, so we'll get to talk to him.
When did we find that out? That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Can I bring in my daughter? I know that's super weird, but she is a massive fan. She has almost all of his I Am books, which are small biography books for children based on almost anybody you can think of. I think
Yeah.
they've done Dolly Parton, Waylon Jennings, Barack Obama, just those 3.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, they like a lot of other people.
The big 3, yeah, I get it.
The big 3. Waylon, Barack, and Dolly.
Absolutely.
Everyone knows. I don't know why
What
those,
kids want to learn about.
those are the 3 I thought of, but he's done hundreds of them, I think.
I've been waiting till we have a guest that my sons would be excited about, and I don't think it'll ever happen.
I can make it happen.
Like,
I can make it
Can we
happen.
get Queso?
No.
That would be the only one.
No,
He's a
we can't.
YouTuber.
He's too big of a YouTuber. We'll never get Queso. In fact, Tom messed up the name of Queso and confused it with another lower tier streamer called King Keso. And then SJ, the guy that's been helping me with all of these computers, reached out and wrote a letter to King Keso saying, hey, can you come on the show? Then he had to write another letter to him saying, hey, you're not the guy. We don't want you anymore.
No, actually.
Yeah. I've never talked about that. I've never talked about how uncomfortable that was.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. When your kids look up to streamers, it's hard to get, Balloon Dragon
knockoff.
45 in here. These
Yeah.
guys are busy. Balloon Dragon 45 is a very busy man.
Jeff and Casey Howell.
Hey, the Howell.
How are y'all?
My favorite father-son duo.
Oh, awesome. Good.
You're my
There
favorite.
we go. Thank
You're
you.
my favorite.
We made it.
Actually, probably be the Wolves. They're
Oh,
pretty good.
Jacob and I'm blanking on his father's name.
Yeah, Josh.
Josh Wolf. Thank you.
Anyway, so Jeff, you were talking about you're doing something with Sunday morning coming down.
Our buddy Joseph Martin.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
love that
And
guy.
Love Joseph. Love his wife Jessie. Just beautiful people, incredible musicians. Well, he's had that show Sunday morning coming down about 15, 16 years now.
Yeah.
Or more. Yeah.
It's got to be going on 20,
Might
right?
be 20, yeah.
Because I
I think it
remember.
might be. I think we've celebrated some of the marks we just blew through, maybe.
Yeah.
I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Dude, I started interning at the radio station in 04, basically 03, at the end of 03. So, and I remember Sunday morning coming down.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Around that
Around
time. I
that
think.
time, yeah.
So
He's been doing it a long time. Well, anyway, he had a gig at the Lucky Lure,
Love that spot.
down- and great spot. The owner is super nice guy, Mike. And when I got there, he did something that I don't really like, but I get
When
it.
I meet a bar owner
no, not the
and he
bar.
pulls his penis out,
No, not Mike.
I like it.
I'm talking
Personally, I'm into
Joseph.
it.
So you don't have to pay me.
I look at Tom and I go, I want to work with this guy, like the cut of his jib.
Yeah, but when I walked in, Joseph, I said, "Hey, Joe," and he was on the air, and I'm just bringing in my stuff and just putting it to the side. And I wanted to get a beer, and Joseph goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Howell, right here." Well, then you got to be Mr. Mayor for the next 20 minutes, shaking hands with people who haven't seen you.
You know
in
what? You
10
need to
Kissing hands,
you need to
shaking
update the
babies.
analogy. People hate mayors now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we need something else. Yeah, have to be, what's something that people want to meet?
yeah.
Because people don't care about mayors anymore.
That could be.
Yeah.
Be. But I always equated it to that kind of, because
So you go into handshaking mode.
You got to. And I love people, but I also love beer. I wanted a beer at that time.
I like beer more than
Beer
people.
over people.
Yeah.
all day.
So I went
Casey.
to the bar, after, shaking hands. Hey, how are you doing? And the other thing there was this one guy, and the older guy, and he came there, he goes, "You remember me, right? You remember me?"
What, Jeff? What? I feel like
you just said something that is literally his greatest nightmare, and he hates it.
And they do it to me all the time.
And it happens all the time.
it's they feel the like Jeff doesn't.
We're
like
gonna complain about
awkwardness.
people liking us for a second. So just hold on tight.
I love
Hold on tight.
people. I love people, but this does annoy me.
This
right?
goes in the category white local musician problem.
But it's also Jeff doesn't like
All
awkwardness.
nationalities, really.
And Jeff, he's much like me in the fact he doesn't like to disappoint anybody.
Yeah.
So he goes
Very
in.
similar. Casey and
People
I are the
pleasers.
disappointers.
Yeah.
But
My
that's
whole
why I'm
life.
always like this boy better. I was like, it's like they got the part of the brain that Jeff had that I hated and threw it away.
So he's in that mode of like shaking hands and making sure
Jeff
everybody's
is
not
hard to
disappointed.
get out of a building. You are hard to get out of a building. If people are talking to you, you're going to linger. Getting Jeff to get on a bus is hard.
Oh,
Getting
yeah.
you to get on a cruise ship is damn near impossible.
Yeah.
Like Jeff would never turn down taking a picture with Jeff.
No,
or,
no,
like,
never
seen him do that.
He'd never be like, "Not now.
Yeah.
I'm not busy." Or
I have never seen you do a not now. If somebody said, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?"
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something serious, or
Yeah.
"Hey, I love that song," or
Yeah.
"Hey, I haven't seen you in a while, and I made a trip trip from England to see cricketers, you will always take the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Always take
and
the time.
that's why the "Hey, do you know what my name is?" people prey on us because they know that we can't. Like it's almost like they smell the weakness.
Get us into a corner. You back us up.
Yeah.
And then
Do you think it's fun for them? Explain.
It has to be. They're sick. They're mentally ill.
Okay.
It's a lose-lose scenario.
I told you you hated this. You probably
There's
didn't
no
believe it
winning.
when I said it.
Yes.
But, like, this happens so often, and
Yeah.
you probably thought I was exaggerating. I'm not. Like, there have been times when we've done a gig, and we get into the car, and the door's shut, and he'll go, "God damn it, why? That guy!"
They're bullying us.
Well, but here's the deal: is it's hard to realize how many people you actually meet on a small time level that we're on. You know, we're local. You know, and. But there's no way to remember everybody's name. And if you don't remember that, or you don't even remember the incident, you know, that it's not a character flaw. You just don't remember. But they take it personally. People get really, and this guy just kept going, you better remember me. You better. And finally, I told him in front of his daughter, I said, you have to quit saying that. Stop saying that. Stop it.
Oh, see, that's where we differ.
Okay, now you did something that I like that's different than what I would have done. I would have done a variation when he said, you better stop saying that. I would have said, or what?
Yeah.
That because I would have gone straight to violence. I don't know why I always go to violence. I'm the smallest person I've ever met, and I always go to violence.
Hobble over to him.
Well, you got something to hit him
But
with.
I liked what you did. I liked that you went the overstop where you were like, stop it. You must stop it. I like that.
I did one finger up.
You're shaming him a little bit, too, when you do that.
I guess so. But his daughter goes, he's really drunk. And I go, I got it. But anyway, that's not even the story I wanted to tell you. Okay?
We're on a story
I'm going to
journey.
forget you even harder.
Do you ever get to the "Hey, I don't remember your name"?
Oh, no. I told him this. This is what I told him. I said, I recognize your face. I don't remember your name, and I don't remember where. Well, I always go, cricketers, because that's pretty much.
You can get like 90% of them there.
It's a shot in the dark that you may hit, and who knows? But I've never actually hit their name. Sometimes I'll guess, and I'll be like, Jim?
I get a lot of them. I get a lot of them for social media because a lot of their social media interacts because of the BDM page, and then I see a lot of the horrible lives that they have, and that is lodged in my brain for some reason. You know, tragedy. It's
back to the story.
But back to the story. It wasn't even that guy. Jack Youngblood was sitting at the bar, and
no, I got that. We were talking about football
That was
players.
before we started recording, Jeff. It's out
You
there
know, he does
outside
this
of...
to Russ too, and I like it.
Very
I like
inside
that it has
joke.
now made it to our show. This is great.
I just want.
That's all he does.
That was me telling Tom, kiss my ass. I'll tell the story
I
how I want
actually
it.
love that. That was so good.
No one understands the reference. Anyway, sorry.
So anyway, what happened was finally when I got and again, I love people, but you know that's a little over the top. You know, you better remember me is a little over the top. But anyway, I go to the bar and the bartender who I'm totally cool with now. Okay.
Oh no,
and
God, Jeff, this doesn't sound like the Jeff I know. The
I know,
Jeff
it was
a young Jeff Howell getting into it.
You are fumbling things.
It was
now.
a bad start, so I finally get to the bar. So it's 15 minutes. I'm standing there, and it's hot, outside, and I want to get my equipment in and everything. So I just want a beer. So this girl at the bar goes, yeah, let's get you a beer. We're sitting there.
Let's get you a beer, baby.
Yeah,
The baby's back.
And the bartender, who I'm totally, I love him to death.
Oh, you
and
must have done something. Did you yell the N-word in their face?
No.
What did you do?
No. We went more the gay route. But anyway,
no,
but I didn't.
I knew it.
The gay N-word?
You smelled it out.
Have you even heard the gay N-word? It's horrible. A lot of people, like when they hear it, their heads explode. It's so racist.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But no, I didn't call any names or anything. All I wanted was a drink. But anyway, apparently he just kept walking by, and the girl,
and he's like, I'm gonna kill this mother.
Yeah, and I was standing there about 10 minutes. Listen, and so anyway, and every time he would stop pouring a drink for somebody, he'd go like this, open his hands up like anybody else, and I'd go like this, and then he'd just kind of walk off, and I went. And so the girl said, as he was coming back by, she goes, I don't think he wants to get you a drink. And I went,
don't think he wants to get you a drink, baby.
I said, yeah, I must be invisible. That's all I said. And he went, Oh, yeah. Like I'm supposed to pour you a beer at your command at any time, drop to my knees, and blank your blank right here in front of everybody.
Jeff, you're screwing this all up. This is way out of control for you, Jeff. I've never heard you do
too
something.
early
he
for this.
He screamed that at me.
This is a Tuttle story. This is something Tuttle does.
He screamed it at me, and he said,
Yeah, I believe it.
I'm supposed to get you a beer and drop to my knees and blank your blank. And I said,
There's a lot of opportunities for jokes here, too, that you're missing.
I said, I didn't know that was an option, but now that I do, I'll take 2.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, what happened was he was really mad, and then later on, I guess he talks to B. Rhoda. He goes, Jeff Howell, and I said, yeah, and he goes, hey, man, hey, I didn't know you were as big as Ale as I am and everything. I think we'll get along fine like that. And I went, I said, what'd you say? And he goes, I said that I didn't know you were as big as Ale. I said, I heard you the first time. Just give me my beer. Anyway,
and he made it worse.
And he went, oh, like that. And he kind of respected that. So we shook hands.
And then you squashed it.
No.
Squash the beef.
Then a little bit later on, I just said, let me make this right. So I bought him and his buddy who were bartending. I bought them beer, shots.
A shots will
we
do,
did a shot, and then we made up, and we were
you're
good friends after that. And all night long, I was going, y'all take care of my man Jared.
But
y'all
you
take care
still
of my
don't
man.
know why he was mad at you, right?
Well, somebody told me that he'd had a rough day the day before.
Oh,
yeah.
Sometimes I do that. I have a rough day. I come home, take it out on my family.
Well, it's some
screaming at him like a wild animal, breaking things, just throwing things at the wall.
I don't know what I've been up to all day.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to throw the TV off the balcony in front of your wife and daughter to let them
Assert
know.
dominance.
You know, the Magic lose the game, they get blown out.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, my
fifth
God.
foul on Paulo with an elbow, you throw the TV off the balcony. Maisie's is tears coming down her cheeks. I'm like, that's great. Tom taught me that.
But anyway, we made up. He's a good guy. We made up everything. So.
Good.
He got me a beer. I was cool with him.
But anyway, so Jack Youngblood.
Jeff and Casey Howell. Like I said
This
earlier.
ties in, actually. It's
Yeah,
a perfect,
yeah.
like
Speaking
literally
of
without
beers.
even knowing, you tied into what he wanted to ask you.
So, I'm curious if you guys remember your first.
You remember me?
Tied in twice. Oh my God!
I can't get away from this.
Everything, the chemistry today. Somebody
You
said it
remember
in the
my
chat
name?
room. Somebody in the chat room said that was like, the chemistry. It was like, feels good. Feels good.
If you guys remembered your first father-son beer together. Because I my son's going to middle school next year.
Before you take it to a positive place, let me throw mine out there. Don't remember it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it kind of sucks. I try. I'll try. Maybe it'll come back to me.
You mean
but
when you had a beer with your dad?
Yeah, can't remember it. Now he's gone.
Do you remember the first time you had a beer in front of your dad? Because I remember, obviously my real dad died too young, but my stepdad, I remember I was 18 and we were doing end of the year graduation party in my backyard, and we got a keg, and my mom was
cool.
like,
Yeah, that's cool. That's top tier. That's top tier.
Yeah, it was 99.
Yeah, hey, you don't need to explain it. It's cool even now.
I think the drinking age was 15 then.
Yeah.
And,
well, we were still in World War II.
But and obviously I had been drinking a long time before that, but it was the first time it was daytime, and my stepdad was he was in his work clothes, and then I was drinking a beer in front of him, and I remember it being weird that he was he acknowledged that I was drinking a beer.
I don't remember it.
Talking about going to college.
It just became commonplace. I remember a cigarette now.
Uh-huh.
I remember a cigarette. He caught me in the driveway. I was obviously, of age to smoke cigarettes, but he didn't want me smoking cigarettes, even though he chugged them like a chimney.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he came
He's
out and he's
double-fisting.
like, just so you know, I don't want to find any cigarette butts around my house.
Leave a
Yell
little
at
meat
him.
on the bone for
And
me.
then the best part of that story is after my dad chewed my ass out, he went inside. My mom came out with a heart condition and said, "Give me the cigarette," and she puffed on it crazy because they were all smoking.
Yeah.
Everybody in Florida at one time was smoking the cigarettes, and it was awesome.
You know, my dad it came up to me when I was engaged.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, my dad came up to me. This is the only advice.
Who?
My dad. No, I wasn't engaged to my dad. Yeah, my dad came up to me
this is gonna
when
be
I
a
was
weird story.
engaged. His mom.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and sorry. I'm going through some painful stuff right now. Right with you. So anyway, yeah, because she came up to me the other day and she goes, "Do you remember me?"
I like that.
Love it.
Deflected.
Yeah. No. But what happened? He came up to me and he got me in the backyard. This was you were engaged, and he goes, "Son," he goes, "let me tell you about marriage." And I said, "Yeah," because I wanted all the advice I could get, And he said, because he was out there, we were in the backyard, and he was smoking a cigar. He says, "You need to be in control of your marriage, okay? You're the man. You need to be in control of your marriage." He goes, "Take these cigars." I smoke my cigars anywhere and everywhere I want to in the backyard when your mom's not at home. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
The moral of that story.
But that's a thing. Like you're touching on a trope that is like the quintessential.
But maybe it is just a trope, but no one remembers.
You see the dock. And you see the sun, the orange and yellow sun on the water, and you see the silhouette of there's a young boy sitting down, he's fishing, and then you see the dad walk out, and the dad has the same silhouette as the boy, the same body. I'm picturing Tommy, you're walking over, you got your pole with you, and you're just carrying 2 beers, no cooler.
Yeah.
It's the double beers touching each other, and you're holding both of them, and you come out and you pop them both because that's what the dad does. You pop it and hand it to him. That's the move.
Yeah.
At least that's what I've created in my brain.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then you just sit there silently looking straight ahead and then enjoying the first beer with your son. Jeff, did you have a first beer with your dad? Do you remember anything like that?
Yeah, it was a Falstaff beer. It was horrible. And he just said, "Come here, boy." And I was like 10.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
10.
I was 10. Yeah.
Louisiana.
My son's 10.
Yeah.
You better buy some Falstaff. You're doing it wrong.
He goes, "Come here, boy."
Those were considered non-alcoholic back then.
Right. You're right.
It was at a place called False River. It's a long story, but it's a big lake, but they call it False River for whatever. Anyway, he had an ice chest. He pulled out 2 cold Falstaffs. Goes, "Come here, boy," and he popped the top and he gave it to me, and I popped the top and I sipped it. I went. And at that time, I always heard about how good beer was, and it tasted horrible to me. And I went, "Oh, my God." I said, "This isn't that good." And he goes, "Yeah, it's not really that good. Pull your pants down."
I was waiting for that, and you got me. I knew it was coming, and I'm like sitting there like
Why
this.
can't we get a real story?
No, I want no real story. In fact, I'm not asking no real stories. I told him before when he came here, I said, "If you do any real stories, you get the hell out and take it somewhere." You got me.
This isn't a sentimental show.
I figured it out. My dad was a bourbon guy. That is why I didn't have that moment. Now he would bring beer on the camping trips, and we never had that moment. He was a whiskey. He was a whiskey and Coke guy.
Yeah.
So he would have a whiskey and Coke. You know? And I tasted that, and it tastes. Whiskey and Coke to me is it's an acquired flavor. It's a weird, caramelly weird flavor.
And if you're doing your stereotypical first drink, whiskey and Coke is not it. It's some cheap beer or whatever. But you didn't do Casey. Your dad didn't do that.
I don't know.
Well, I think our first beer together was preceded by 12 other beers. So we don't remember any of that.
This is awesome. Yeah. No, hold on, that's the Howell way. Like you up the ante, man. I have never. Now, not to say that I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would have. I never got drunk with my dad.
Yeah.
I probably got drunk in front of my dad.
Yeah.
But I never got drunk with my dad.
And it wasn't stereotypically drunk.
That would have been an awesome thing to do. That would have been fun. I would have liked to have gotten drunk.
I got a call one night about, I'd say about 11:30 at night. And Dad, my car's broke down. I need you to come get me. And he was a junior in high school.
Okay.
And he goes. I go, yeah, I'll come get you. Where are you? He goes, I'm on the median of John Young Parkway.
Wow, you were really drinking.
Yeah.
And I said,
I got good young.
Yeah, you sound like Tom.
I said, it's a long road, Casey. I said, where are you near? He goes, well, there's a big church right here. And I go, well, what church is it? He goes, take your pick. What?
Okay, hold on. Context clues. An area where there's many churches.
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't ask him if he was drinking. I knew,
Yeah.
So I drove and I found him. I found him. So he had his blinkers on, and I pulled up. I put my blinkers on, and I honked the horn, and he opened the door. And when he did, it was like he was falling forward in slow motion. He just opened the door and went, "Run, Daddy!"
Yeah.
I don't think I said daddy.
All right, I can cut that out for you,
Well,
man.
he did
I'm
af-
on your team here.
He did after I made him
Papa.
after I made him take his pants down.
I knew it. Not what I was ready for.
My pants were already off.
You know, another thing I realized is I'm out of practice. I'm out of practice, and you got a good ninja gotcha on me,
Thank you.
and I'm not going to let it happen again.
So I go get in the back of the car, get in the back of my car, and I'll take care of this. In the meantime, his friends drove up, and they said, "Hey, what's the matter, Mr.?" I said, "Take him home."
Why's he got his pants down, man? What the hell are you doing over there?
Daddy,
I said, no. I said because the church.
I'm playing now.
No, because the church was a Catholic church, and if I
Oh,
could get 2
this
for
is
1,
allowed. This is allowed. The Pope just died. It's what they do for holidays.
Yeah, so his friends drove him home. I stayed there. Fortunately, the cops came, and I said, no. I said, this is my son's car. It broke down. I said, but he wasn't feeling well. And there was no way they could get him for drinking because he'd already left the scene.
Right.
And so I got home. He was still awake because I told him I said, we're going to you go to bed and we'll have a long talk tomorrow. Okay, so when I got home, he's still up. He's walking around the house and everything. And I said, hey, buddy, how you doing? Come here. I love you. I said, but yeah, you effed up. We're going to have a long talk tomorrow. He goes, no. I want my talk now. And I went, no.
just get it out of the way, man.
I'm just like you. I want to take my talk when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
I never want to take my talk when I'm sober.
Who does?
I said, no, I'm gonna talk to you at the most uncomfortable time. With tomorrow, you're going to be hungover, and I want this to sink in. Anyway, it did. He did great. He's never had an incident since then. Yeah.
I had one of those with my best friend Dave's dad, Dr. Smith, our veterinarian. I've told that story. He called me over to his house the next day because he realized something was up, with me going home, and he pulled me aside and had at the office talking.
Yeah.
And oh man,
yeah,
that'll rattle your bones.
Yeah,
Ooh.
back when other people's
sweat.
fathers could talk to you. And
it
stuff,
is weird. I don't think he ever called my mom or my dad to ask permission. And if you are a grown man now and called somebody else's son over to your veterinarian office to tell him he shouldn't be drinking and driving, you would be arrested.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and
that's an old
them
world.
at
That's
this
old
point.
world communication.
You used to be able to hit other people's kids.
I missed that.
You don't. You didn't
I'll still
mess
do
around.
it.
Yeah, he will. He will do it.
Yeah.
I've seen him do it. He did it over here in Publix.
No, could
It's
you
just a
imagine?
backhand. It's never a forward.
Just smacking
white
some
collar
other
hit.
Yeah. It's very much a Sean Connery. Sometimes
just a little slap.
Yeah, just a little slap.
And I even remember where my buddy's parents would tell my mom, if he's if he f's up, slap him in his face and do whatever you want to.
I know, isn't that wild?
I
I said that about Maisie. I drop her off. I'm like, hey, if she messes up, just slap her in the face. It works.
We had babysitters that were allowed to spank us.
Yeah. But
Welcome
back to Trauma Talk. Unpack everything.
I never got hit. I guess that's why I'm awesome. Or something.
Casey was so good and that I hardly ever had to punt, but every now and then he would push the limits. But he has.
You were probably mouthy, I would imagine, because you're witty.
But he was such an even keel kid. And then every now and then he would, the kids get their dander up or they want to test and he has such a good imagination that he can do anything by himself. So I would go, God damn it, Casey, stop it. I said, do you want to do a timeout? And he goes, yeah, sure. And I take him to timeout. I put him in his room and I come back.
Half only.
Okay, but there's a lot of only running around in there.
Yeah.
That is an
You mean only child?
Yeah, that is our. You to give me a timeout. I'm like, you just handed me COVID. Lock me inside. I'm good with being locked inside.
Yeah, he would be in there and just.
Please.
He would be his imagination. I go, well, that's not working. So.
Yeah. You can bounce into your imagination because you're sort of used to it, and it is a little more of a kind place.
I did have to yell at him because he kept asking for toys when we went to Albertsons because I'd buy him
the best toys.
The little knockoffs of the Power Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were $1.50, but I kept buying them and finally I went, you know what, Casey, I'm not going to buy you a toy every time because, only when we can afford it, that kind of BS.
Sure.
But I just didn't want him expecting that, to
Casey,
get
we're
entitled.
poor, okay? Get it through your head.
Yeah. So finally, one time he started crying that I wouldn't get it. And so I said, you come out. I said, look around this room. I said, there are toys everywhere. You should be lucky that you have aunts and uncles and grandparents that buy you toys all the time. I said, there's some people that don't even get toys at Christmas. Do you understand that? Do you understand? And he's crying. And he goes, Daddy, I'm not, I said, and if I tell you you can't have a toy, don't cry. And he goes, I'm not crying because you wouldn't get me a toy. I said, then why are you crying? He goes, I'm crying because I'm so happy. And I started crying, and I bought him a Nintendo 64.
I love that. Yeah.
With my pants
You
down.
pulled the manipulation
Yeah,
switch.
exactly. You got to
That's
know
an
how to
only
pull
child.
those strings early.
You might have more only than you know. You might want to get tested because because I'm a pure only, and purebred onlys will manipulate some stuff.
Y'all shouldn't have me on the show. Casey will just show up from now on.
What are you talking about? I'm having the best time I've had in a very, very
good.
long
Awesome,
time.
Reliving my
man.
childhood.
But
This
I
is
keep
great.
messing up. Sorry.
I'm going to have a lot to talk about at therapy.
When my dad,
week.
when my dad had his stroke, he couldn't remember any of the punchlines to his jokes, and it actually made him better.
I wonder what his excuse is.
Yeah, it's just like a silver lining.
So, okay, Jeff,
Yeah.
what about tough love? Because
Yeah.
I'm having a problem with tough love.
Well, it's just not how you're wired, dude. You're not a
You're a
let him
soft
pry
lover.
it out guy.
yeah. It's like the quintessential. Your kid goes to jail.
Yeah.
And you're like, you just let him sit in there.
Yeah, I've
And
experienced
learn his
Not you.
lesson.
Yeah,
This guy's dressed up like a
we'll
rabbi
talk
with a
about-
file in
Yeah.
his butthole.
I've experienced.
No, oh,
I've
really?
done some hard time. I've been in the clink.
You went to the clink?
Yeah.
Tell-
I've made
tell
a
me
bunch
about
of
it.
Can he
friends.
talk about it?
Yeah, of course.
Did you have to eat a sea meat sandwich? Tuttle did. Tuttle had to eat 4 sea meat sandwiches.
Dude,
He said
that's-
he's never been the same.
What happened?
I got arrested for public urination.
Hey! Oh, my
My
God.
boy with his pants down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and your kids with pants down.
By the way, this
It
is
was always going to catch up to you, wasn't it?
this law makes me
I
the-
wanted to get caught.
this law makes me the most and it is mainly like New Orleans and
Yeah.
like that's where you hear a lot
Yes.
about it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's so fitting that it would be you guys too, man. That is in the blood.
and then I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
wait a minute, New Orleans,
Yeah.
like you advertise, come party
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, drink a drink that's 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
And your whole economy is based on tourism and partying and drinking and
Yeah.
getting drunk and the casinos and
Yeah.
like
And everything smells like piss.
which doesn't help.
Facts.
And then you're like, but you don't build enough. You can't have public restrooms
No.
because they annihilate them, and you're not putting your like any tax dollars
Yeah.
that you're getting off this tourism into public restrooms. And then so you like everybody come here, and then you're like hire a bunch of cops on horses to arrest people that pee in this. What do you think is gonna happen?
Hey, hold on a second.
So you're
Those
almost-
horses are allowed to pee.
Yeah, I know.
And they're big, hot, steamy
That's
pee.
who was in the drunk tank with me.
This is entrapment.
Yeah.
This is straight up entrapment. Did this
tell,
happen here?
Tell them about your roommate, your cellmate.
Okay, yeah.
Hold on, so were you in New Orleans?
No, I was here. I was in downtown Orlando.
No,
Saddle up.
We went to the bikini contest there, and,
Yeah.
and I think I may have urinated.
Yeah.
That was
Are you
our
a
last
sponsor?
bikini.
I asked him, I said, Casey, what are they a sponsor of yours?
No.
Okay, I said,
I think they
Casey,
shut down,
I said,
actually.
why did you pee on Saddle Up? He goes, why not?
Sure.
Hey.
I went inside. The line was really long. I didn't trust myself to hold it. I found a nice secluded alley. It was dark and everything. I went down there. I pulled my pants down to my ankles. I didn't do it.
Pants down, pants down.
all the way down like a 4-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm peeing, and I'm like a minute and a half into this piss, and I feel somebody tap on my shoulder, and I'm like, buddy, I'm busy here.
Oh, you did the buddy? I've always wanted to do that where you're doing something terrible, like you're rewiring a security system, and you're like, hey, beat
Hey,
it.
buddy, yeah, here. And I turn around, and it's an officer, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, officer. I just dropped all my water on the ground.
Oh, that's good.
My pants
That's a
down.
Tom Van level excuse right there, buddy. That's good.
So I try and walk back into the bar.
We got a water dropper here.
and he grabs me, and he's like, no way. Immediately throws me in cuffs, puts me in the car, and I'm like, well, this night went terrible.
Yeah, this is bad. You didn't even get to see the bikini contest at Saddle On.
Yeah.
By the way, you were in an alley. You weren't like in technical public. Like you were trying to like to
conceal it.
You know, so like,
yeah.
you
I was in
just
pubic.
you're like cars are going by. You're on the street like
Yeah,
a
no,
crazy
you're not
person.
doing that,
You know, so
It's
it's
a weird.
insane.
It is. It's always been a weird one to me.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So they arrest you.
Arrest me. My buddies start calling me. They're like, "Where are you? I've
Hey, are
been
you
gone
peeing
for
on the
30
floor again?"
minutes." The cop picks up my phone, and my buddy thinks that I'm now playing a hilarious prank on him.
Oh, this is gonna get a
They're
lot
like,
worse
oh,
for
yeah,
you, Casey.
Sure. Yeah, you got arrested, huh? But no, they took me downtown, processed me, threw me in the drunk tank.
Were you worried?
No, I was gone.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
I was more angry. I kept saying, "This is just a fine, man. You can just find me and let me go."
Oh yeah, I've seen these
That's,
videos. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Tell them about your roommate.
It's a good thing you don't have a temper, because I always worry about like because I don't. It's been a long time, and I'm an older guy now.
Yeah,
you know?
sure, yeah.
But I think I don't know. I run my mouth a lot.
Yeah.
And so when I see the videos of people like Jordan's son, when he was in the back of the cop car and he's just chirping crazy, I'm like, oh my God, that could be me.
Yeah.
Because I have that tendency in me, I think.
It's not illegal to be a D-head to the cops.
No,
And they
it's
say
not.
it makes it worse, and it doesn't. The charge is a charge.
Yeah,
They can't make up.
They got the protocol.
Yeah,
They
it's
got
all on video.
cameras,
You're
yeah.
allowed to talk ass if you want. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So tell them about the roommate, though. Tell them about
So in
the cellmate.
yeah, my roommate. He became my roommate afterwards.
Well, you guys still live
And-
together now. Right?
Yeah.
Domestic partners now.
In the drunk tank, I'm there with one other guy, and his name's Keith, and he's like a 77-year-old dude, and we'd start, sharing stories, going back and forth.
Hey, I like to pee at bikini contests
He's
too.
like, "What are you doing?" And
I was at Saddle Up too, but I took a deuce.
I talked to him, and he said he was arrested for vagrancy, which I guess is just criminal homelessness.
Yeah.
This is what I consider all of them. Ew.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So disgusting. Once I found out he was homeless, I'm like,
Yeah.
stay on
I'm
your
like,
side,
get away
okay?
from me, man. You should start with that, right?
But yeah, we went back and forth, and I was like, "What were you doing? You being homeless?" He was like, "I was riding a train, and they threw me off the train."
Oh my God.
I was like,
They tried to execute me off the train. I stole their gold, so they said they're gonna kill me execution style by launching my body off the train.
"So you've met Keith?"
Yeah, my father is
Yeah.
Keith.
This is a while ago, so it was a real train back in Orlando.
Oh, yeah.
Before Sunrail.
By the way, this is a Jeff Howell senior level story.
Oh,
This is
yeah, absolutely.
fantastic.
Oh, wait, it gets
The
back.
blood lines run through.
Yeah, truly, man.
Yeah, so I'm talking to him, and I'm like, "What are you doing on a train?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go visit my mom for her 99th birthday." I'm like, "Oh, that's beautiful, Keith. That's wonderful. What a heart of gold on this man."
Yeah, sponsored by Smuckers, right? Yeah, 99. I wish her happy 99.
And yeah, we keep going back and forth, and I eventually I'm like, "Well, how are you getting out of here?" And he's like, "Oh, my mom just posted bail." And I'm like, "Keith, man, you cannot be putting her through that.
On her birthday.
She's about to be 100 years old, and you're
I do the level of love.
Yeah.
The level of love that some parents have,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I know I have that. I think I have that, but then sometimes I hear stories like this. I
God.
question my love.
Imagine
Oh, sure.
living to 99 and you're bailing out your homeless 77-year-old
Yeah.
son. God
For
damn.
peeing on a train.
Did you get to meet her? Did you
That's
see her?
rough.
No,
Did they
I
call
didn't get
him?
to
Where
meet
they're
her.
like, all right,
she was
Kate,
in South
she's here.
Carolina.
Yeah.
She just sent
She was driving
a
from
bundle
South
of money. Yeah. She pulled an all-nighter.
Yeah.
What a waste of police time and funds to arrest Casey Howell for peeing in the
That's what I say.
I think it was tax money well spent.
I mean, it's a good story, I
Yeah.
guess. you
Yeah,
know? I mean,
yeah.
what did you get a call this time?
Oh, I
or
got a
not?
call. Well, one of his, the friend that bailed him out, the mom called me. And by the time she called me, the processing, it'd go.
Right.
And she goes, Jeff, and it's like 2 in the morning. I go, this, one of good friends of ours. I met them. Our sons played lacrosse together. In fact,
Oh, right on.
And so the
Lacrosse
mom goes,
buddies.
Jeff, and I go, what's going on? And she goes, it's about Casey. And I go, what? Because you think the worst. I think the worst always. I go, what happened? She goes, no, he's okay. He's okay.
He's got his pants down, but he's okay. Sorry, I just
no,
It's Keith.
Yeah, he's here. He's got his pants down.
And she goes, I'm gonna tell. I said, what did he do? And she goes, I'm gonna tell you, but you got to promise you won't be mad. And I said, I can't promise.
I hate it when people do that because I get mad so easy.
It's also,
I promise I will be mad.
Yeah, it made it sound way worse than it is. Like,
yeah, but she didn't know how I'd react.
Okay.
And she goes, look, he is such a good young man. So I'm thinking violence or something, maybe breaking in a store or something.
Oh my God, Jeff.
Yeah.
Know your child.
Murder.
Breaking in a store.
Genocide.
Violent
I thought
breaking
maybe human trafficking
Yeah.
and maybe I thought sodomy.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
you're going to violent breaking and entering.
I mean, when I look at him, he looks like a sodomy rape guy.
I mean, he's a great kid. I don't know him that well, but anyway. So
I wasn't raised right.
She goes, promise you won't get mad. So finally, I just go, okay, I promise I won't get mad. What did he do? And she goes, he got caught peeing in public, and I went, "Wah!" And I laughed, and I went, oh my God! I said, we're all good, And I told him, I said, look,
say no more. I'm peeing in public as I take this phone.
I've never seen him more proud.
and I did tell him, I said, Casey, everybody has done it. I said, you just got caught.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, you got to watch that. So
Yeah.
it was all good.
The Howell family tradition, like Lieutenant Dan and his father before him.
Now it's just the urine, right?
Yeah, he didn't poop.
I
in
didn't-
public.
I didn't get caught for pooping.
What I mean is the infraction because it's
Or
burned
the
in my
and/or defecation.
well, it's burned in my brain because like I see these commercials, like everybody's like, I love '90s commercials, and this one that's going around right now on TikTok and Reels is the golf club that was made so you could pee in it on the golf course.
No, yeah.
And whenever I see it, they have a little towel that goes over it, so you don't see anything.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, wait a minute. If I want to pee
Yeah.
in my Tesla into a vessel, I should be allowed to pee. Is the infraction that I'm urinating on that I'm? It's
Yeah,
waste.
I think you can
It's
go
the
in your
waste.
car. You can.
As long as I'm covered. Like I can put a towel over myself and I can pee in a big gulp cup if I would like.
Yeah.
And then take the cup and then pour it into a toilet and flush it when I can get to one.
yeah.
Okay.
And that's fine.
Sure. But
It's the waste outside of a toilet. That's
Sure.
what the charge is.
Well,
Because you
again-
weren't exposing yourself to anybody's my point.
Yeah, I think it's public urination is a
but
separate charge.
that is that because if it was if they didn't enforce that, then everybody would pee in public a lot more often.
Yes,
you know.
yeah,
And next
you're
thing you
right.
know, you got and next
And
thing
next
you know.
thing you know, we got Indio, man.
Yeah,
Is
but
that
go,
what people say though? That they get
Yeah, oh
mad?
yeah.
but go with the ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
like
that's what he
Casey's
tried.
That
Yeah.
was my argument.
Yeah.
I was-
Click it or ticket.
officer.
Yeah, you gotta get a ticket and then move on. To take someone to jail and you gotta
See
spend time in
something, say
jail.
something.
But he got to meet Frank or whoever it was. Keith.
And it was an experience. I've never been arrested.
I've never been arrested. Yeah.
Really?
All the stupid.
That is.
All
You
the
should be
stupid
insulted
stuff.
by
No,
that.
knock on whatever you got to knock on.
Yeah.
I've never been arrested, and it's crazy. So yeah, we don't talk much.
I guess
I-
I've never
I've been
been arrested. I've
detained.
been detained.
Yeah, I've been
Have you?
detained a couple times. Like even like in Miami, curfew violation, which is it's funny because you forget about curfew violation.
Curfew?
It was-
You do.
Yeah. There's
The bar's
I've
open
been
till like
detained.
4.
yeah, I was. It was if you're under 18, you can't be out on the streets
Yeah.
past like 11 p.m. It's like there's literal curfew, and like
Yeah.
me and my buddy were walking to Subway, and it was like 11:30, and
Health
then
kick.
and the cops just picked us up, took us to the precinct or whatever, and then call our
Call
parents.
your mom.
Yeah.
I've been detained a bunch of times.
Have you?
Usually just like radio host, just yelling, screaming at my wife in the middle of the night. And they come by and they're like, "Hey, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." And then I'm like, "Can we keep this on the DL?" But if you just Google all of them, all the greatest ones do it. Me, Tom,
yeah.
all of us do it.
Yeah. I like the 911 calls.
They're great. They're great. Andrea, sometimes.
Because your wife's always yelling in the background. Yeah. And then you're yelling, "Don't call anyone."
What are
you on the phone for?
Yeah, I'm like, put down the phone.
Yeah. This is gonna end up on the internet.
Yeah, I'm gonna break the goddamn phone when you yell. They don't like it when you yell, "I'm gonna break the goddamn phone."
Oh yeah.
I call that the Mel Gibson.
That there was a time where it would have to hit the news for you to hear that. Now it's just all over.
I
the
feel like
internet.
there was a time if you could get to the phone before she got to it and throw it in a lake, you're good.
That
It's not
absolves
like
you
that.
of the crime.
It's not like
yeah.
that anymore. It's not like that
Yeah,
anymore.
but speaking of just getting into minor trouble when you're young, it does suck that.
I'm not gonna have that.
the
I have
younger-
a rule follower. I don't think you're gonna have it either.
Well, it's just the younger generations now, whatever they get into or whatever mistakes they make,
Sure.
does end up on like a
Everywhere.
permanent record of
Sure.
the internet,
yeah.
where it's like pictures and things. That
Yeah.
and it's so easy for everybody to see now
Yeah.
that it might as well just be in everybody's back pocket in
Yeah.
their phone. Like you search your name and then whatever mistake you made, here's your mugshot.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
it's like that's unfair. You know what I'm saying? Like and then like.
Unless it's mug shotties. Are you guys on mug shotties?
I have a wonderful mugshot.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Mug
Tell me about your
shotties,
friends.
or it's
that-
mug shorties, I
Yeah.
should say it right. But it's all the hottest women from mug shots.
Oh, that's nice.
Mug shotties is awesome.
Yeah, my
Should I look at it? Can I look it up?
I don't know. It might have been expunged or something.
Did you? Oh yeah.
Well, you
Sometimes-
can look at it. You can look it up if you want. Yeah. But tell them what your friends did.
Yeah, my friends made T-shirts, free Casey on it with my mugshot on it. Yeah.
Those are good friends.
Those
Yeah,
are good
those are
friends.
good
Yeah.
Good friends. Those are like
Absolutely.
lifelong friends. I feel.
The first gig that he ever played with me, he was in high school. He was a senior in high school, and he came out and he was so nervous. And I said, "No, you're going to be fine. You're going to play the first set. I'm going to give you all the tips from that set." And all his friends showed up, and they all had it said "I heart Casey."
Yeah,
But then one of his closest friends just had "I" and a big penis on Casey.
Yeah.
We were
That's what
closer
friends
than
do.
you know.
Yeah. The one that goes the gayest is your best friend. Everyone knows that. That's just
That would be
math.
hard to pick.
That's just Then
Out
you
of my boys?
then you got good friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then line them up.
He does
Out of my
have great-
harem?
Yeah, then line them up like sweet little baby angels.
He's got
Kiss
great
every
friends.
one of them.
So Casey, where are you going to be playing in the next couple weeks?
Well, tonight I am in Cherry Pocket at Lake Wales.
All right.
4 to 8. On Saturday, I will be back at Cherry Pocket. I believe I'm 6 to 10. This says 1 to 5 here, but I'm
Oh, I
6
thought
to
you were.
20.
Oh,
You might want to
my
talk to your
phone's got-
publicist here.
Yeah, absolutely. Get my intern.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
okay.
intern's scrambling over there. I'd fire that guy.
Yeah. We'll get there at 1.
Yeah. He's got his
and
pants down.
Stay till 10. Yeah.
Sunday, I will be at Tibby's in Winter Park doing brunch there.
I love
11 to
Tibby's.
12.
That's the drunkest I've ever been. Is at that Tibby's.
It's a great place, isn't it?
Well, it's just an easy place to drink beer. Oh man, that's a fun place. And you know what goes good with beer?
What?
Is all their delicious food.
Oh,
yeah.
my God, spicy beer and or spicy food and cold beer.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
And where else are you at?
And next Tuesday, I'll be at the Whiskey, Sand Lake, 9 to midnight.
All right.
All right, there you go.
Come check me out.
So can I just reiterate that I had a great time at the Lucky Lure. I love everybody there. I love the owner. I love the bartenders. You know, because I told that story.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
you know how people sometimes
Yeah.
hear a story and tell somebody, those guys were absolutely wonderful. I loved it. Please go down and support those people.
It's a good
Take
spot.
care of your bartenders. Yeah. Yeah, I did. And we just had a little incident, and we resolved it, and now we're friends.
You know what? I don't really have incidents anymore because I don't have any friends or go anywhere. I don't go anywhere.
Yeah. I was when you came in today.
Yeah.
I was like, man, if you would have told me, bet which one of these guys has a cane in 20 years, I would have
Beat ya.
Whoa.
Beat you too, buddy.
You know,
Who's the champ?
It is crazy that, because I literally in my younger days, because, I was on the road at I just turned 18.
Oh, very young.
Yeah.
I was on the road, and I mean, it was hardcore, I mean, it wasn't death metal hardcore, but we drank a lot. We had a lot
You
of
partied, man.
Yeah.
We had a lot-
And you played every
we were
night.
cool.
Yeah, and this
back
is
then.
before they invented, chlamydia or whatever. So we
Yeah,
were
we're talking
doing-
the 80s,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So anyway, I always told people, I said, I'm only going to make it till 52. I don't even know why I picked 52, but I just said I'm going to make it till 52.
God, I got 4 years.
I know, and then I got to be 51, and I went, okay, I might want to re-up on this a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
but for whatever reason, I just did my blood work, everything right down the middle.
That's what
awesome,
everybody says right before they die.
Yeah.
You ever notice that?
Healthy as an ox.
You ever notice that? Everybody, my fattest friends will come in and say, like, check out this blood work. And I look at it, 2 weeks later, dead.
Well, what it tells
I'm
me,
joking. Mine is too.
it tells me that drinking's not that bad for you.
Yeah.
It can't be. Like, you know, like there's no.
Well, it's only bad for you if your genetics align with it to make it bad for you. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Right?
When you pickle something, it lasts longer.
It's true.
Yeah.
Nick Swartzen came on the Monsters last
Yeah,
week.
he was in there too.
Yeah, and I was there, and he was talking about because apparently he
had
went off
drinking
the
problems.
deep end,
Yeah.
you know, and so he's all sober now. And I'm just sitting there, and he goes, "Yeah, no." He goes, "I've won drinking. I've beat, drinking. I've done everything you could do drinking." And I just went, and I go, "How old are you?" And he goes, "Well, I'm just turning 50." I said, "Wait till you get to be 62 and start back. It's fun." And he was pissed at me for trying to make him drink.
Yeah, I think he still struggles with it a little
Does
bit.
he? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Then I feel bad.
Well, I also don't think he's.
I
think
thought he was a nice guy, but
super nice guy.
Yeah,
but I
I
think
love-
maybe he dabbles now and again. You know?
Oh, kind of like the Bubba thing.
Maybe I think. Yeah.
I mean, Bubba.
I think any time that people with a true utter addiction draw
yeah.
a hard line in the
Yeah.
sand, I think you're setting yourself up for
I
failure.
don't think. Here's one of my thoughts on it is one is that you actually, if you're forced to quit drinking, that's the hardest. You know, if you F up or you go to jail or
yeah.
you do something like that and you're
Life-changing.
Yeah, it's life-changing. That's the hardest to beat. When you just do it so much and you go, I'm destroying my life. I need to change and do it. Those people last longer.
I think so.
But, I've done 10 years sobriety. I've done 5 years. I've done 2 years. I mean, I've been on this earth for a long time. But I got to tell you, when you start back, it's great.
Yeah, that's what I hear. That's what I hear.
Well,
We're
lovely,
pro.
yeah.
We're very pro drinking here.
Yeah.
You realize you're like, I can keep it under control.
Oh, no, I do
The
that.
beast won't get me this time.
And
Yeah.
even if you can't, just saying that makes you feel better. I've
The
noticed
endorphins.
that. I've noticed
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I shouldn't say. Good for people who quit drinking. That, if you got a problem, take care
Stop,
of it.
you're
stop
weak.
apologizing for everything. Take a stand, and we're going to stand in our business today, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff said you're weak.
Yeah.
You
He
can have a
also,
couple.
I saw in his eyes, see in hell.
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, Casey Howell, thank
We love
you
you
very
guys,
much,
man.
Thank
you
y'all.
guys
No,
for
we
coming
had a
in.
great
Can I
time.
make one amendment?
Yeah,
I
please.
am at Cherry Pockets from 1 to 5 on Saturday.
Hey, who was right?
Who was right?
Who was right?
Trust the paper.
my
Trust
God.
the paper. We
Always
write
trust
it down for a reason.
Yeah. Do you know Samantha, our former producer, wrote everything down for years, and we never looked at one paper. Not even one.
We don't know how to read.
In fact, we're very proud of the fact that we did the entire run of her being here. Some would say our greatest decade, no paper.
Yeah.
Didn't use one.
Do me a favor and tell she and her husband Travis.
I will let 'em know.
Please tell them we said hello. She
do
is
it.
so
Oh,
lovely.
she's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll let her know for sure.
All right, we will see you tomorrow.
Oh, that was super funny. Now, are we going to lunch?
Yeah,
or?
we're
Okay.
going to lunch, and
Guys,
then we'll come back at
awesome.
1.